Well. You saw a title? You know what we're doing today? We're comparing Daredevil versus Invincible. So, see, these are both argued to be the greatest comic book shows of all time. One of them I don't think is, but we will see which one it is. So, yeah, let's just go right for it. Okay, so I'm gonna be comparing a bunch of categories that I think are important. Like, I don't really care about some things are gonna be less important, like visuals. Sure, it's important, but it's not gonna be that important, so it's gonna be at the end. But I'm just gonna try and compare all things that I think would be important to the show, and which is better. Starting off with the pilot. Okay. I'm gonna talk about Daredevil first almost every time, then Invincible because that's just how the order is. I have to walk over here so you guys can see the Invincible picture, and I'm over here normally, so I'm actually. You get the point. Anyways, so Daredevil's pilot. Here is my caveat for it. It is a fantastic episode. I think it is a very, very good start to the show, and it works very well establishing Matt and Foggy's relationship, who Karen is, and gives a great side into the lawyer side in the MCU, or of Daredevil, not the MCU, and also allows Matt to start becoming Daredevil. I think it works really well. Only problem is it doesn't have that hook. It doesn't have that factor that's gonna keep you watching, which is necessary for a pilot. When I'm talking about a pilot, even though let's say an episode can be worse. Like I think uh Loki's pilot is worse quality wise than Daredevil's, but it is better because it's a better hook, if you get what I mean. The only hook that Daredevil really has is actually technically has two, but one big one of it's just really well written, and then the second one of it, Wesley, who's Wesley and who's his boss. That's really it. Also, you could argue that it didn't really need a hook because, well, I didn't watch it on release. It released in 13 episode back the whole season in one batch. So if you watch episode 1, might as well watch episode 2 and then see episode 2 will most definitely get you because of how fantastic that is, and then dominoes fall and you'll get through the whole season. So that's the whole point of them releasing it all at once, but I would rather have it be released episode by episode by episode. So there's really no hook to Daredevil, which is a weak part. And that's honestly maybe Invincible saving grace. Invincible has an amazing hook. Well, I do have a problem with the pilot of how it's a bit expository, especially with the Guardians of Globe. I thought that was just a little expository, as I said. But that hook at the end is just really amazing. While it didn't shock me as much because I knew about the twist, um, it was a great twist, all the matter, which is why, hopefully, the picture shows up. It did. Invincible is winning this. While the pilot is worse in its writing, like, if I had to give a rating, Invincible's pilot is an 8.8, Daredevil's is a 9. The pilot itself is a better hook into the series. The Invincible pilot was like, okay, I want to watch this show over the Daredevil. Like, oh, I wanted to watch the next episode immediately over Daredevil. You know what I mean? Also, if you want another factor, Legion is the greatest comic book pilot of all time. By the way, I've not seen The Walking Dead. If you're not seeing Legion, watch Legion. It's especially season 1. That's a spectacular season of television. Anyways, the protagonist is the one I'm going to talk about next, and once again, I'm going to talk about Matt. Matt, I really love his story of kind of what he throughout the whole series, and I'll talk about Daredevil Born Again. This does include Daredevil Born Again, I will say. Um, so there is that. Matt, I really love. He is honestly, arguably the best MCU character. Best in writing, almost definitely. But you could argue Loki, Tony Stark, Captain America are better, and I'd be fine with that. But he's definitely in the top 4 for me. Like he's really great. Now I really do love his arc of in the first season it's about him becoming Daredevil and how it relates to his life, basically. Season 2 of how because he's Daredevil, it goes on season 1 how his life is falling apart, especially with Elektra coming in and screwing up his life even more. Then season 3 is that he's lost his life and now he's fully Daredevil, except at the end of the season he reclaims it by beating Fisk and becoming both the Daredevil and Matt Murdock once again, starting Nelson Murdock and Page. Sadly, we never get to see Nelson Murdock and Page, but whatever. Then season 1 of Daredevil is him basically growing beyond the fact that he nearly killed Bullseye because Bullseye killed Foggy. And then in season 2, he is learning more about mercy and how to be merciful over vengeance, and how he is becoming a symbol for the rebellion. That's his story, and it's great. Honestly, he's just really well done. Charlie Cox is an amazing actor with him. Does a brilliant job. Invincible. Here's my problem with Invincible. He's a great character in season 1. I really like him. I really like his development of becoming a superhero, especially in the finale where he goes against his dad. Um, Season 2, he's also great, again, dealing with the aftermath of his dad. Sure, he can have some annoying moments, but my real problem comes with him in season 3. I think he's an obnoxious man-child in season 3. I find him so annoying with that whole Cecil debate, when Cecil, in my opinion, is clearly in the right. But honestly, and it's just Mark's attitude that just makes me really annoyed, and the writing of how no one ever questions him or goes against him also just makes me mad. Season 4, he has some flaws, but honestly, he's a lot better. I do like Mark as a character, but this was an easy win for Matt. Matt is one of the best characters in any comic book show ever. So of course he's beating Mark out. It was the antagonist, almost as important as a protagonist. A story's only as good as its villains, and both of these have some pretty iconic villains. The Kingpin, Bullseye. That's Muse. That's a really terrible picture. It's hard to find a good picture of Muse. That's a terrible one of Muse. Then Omni-Man, Hank Sherman Levy, Conquest, and Thrag. Again, Daredevil villains. I'm not talking about Daredevil villains because they are extremely, I won't want to say hit or miss, but hit or miss. If you want to count Elektra as a villain, put Elektra up there. Elektra's an okay character. She's eh. Nobu is a fine villain. He works well enough with the hand, but I don't really like the hand that much, other than the end of season 2. Muse, I actually think, was an amazing villain up until they just killed him off in episode 7, aboard again. And then I guess we can continue with a couple more villains. Let me think of a. Oh yeah, Vanessa Fisk. If you want to consider her a villain, she was really great. I really liked her connection, of course, with Wilson Fisk, her husband, and how she developed throughout the series. Honestly, she had crazy character development throughout that series, even though she barely appeared in the original show. She just appeared in season 1, then at the end of season 3. Oh, yeah, John Bernthal's Punisher, if you want to consider him a villain at the start of season 2, he was amazing, because of course he was. But of course, the two shining stars of Daredevil is Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin and Wilson Bethel's Bullseye. These are two of the greatest comic book villains of all time. He's definitely in top 3. Honestly, he's in my top 2, arguably number 1. Yeah, he's arguably the greatest comic book villain of all time, which is why, he's just so good. Vincent D'Onofrio gives such a good performance. Honestly, I'll talk about this when I get to casting. Vincent D'Onofrio is a peak comic book casting. Bullseye is also perfectly psychotic. Wilson Bethel is also a peak comic book casting. He's amazing. Both of them are truly incredible villains. Now here is where I'm going to talk about these guys. Omni-Man is a great villain, a great twist villain. I love his dynamic with Mark. He has the best scene in the show, the what we have after 500 years. That's the best scene in the show. Now, I will say, Omni-Man becomes a better character after he becomes a villain, which I'm not counting. And I'm not counting his character arc throughout the whole comic series, which I'm not really talking about Invincible comics. Not really. I won't really be talking about that. But yeah. That's one. Yeah, I don't really care about all that with Nolan because his character arc and redemption doesn't matter to him being a villain. He was not an antagonist then. But he was still a great antagonist. Angstrom Levy, honestly, he's about as bad as the Hand and Muse. I actually maybe even worse. I think he was great in season 2. I thought he worked really well as a villain. I liked him. I liked the multiverse concept with him. My only problem is how he just got completely character assassinated in season 3. No, I don't care that he's mentally insane, so we can just rewrite his character for whatever we want to do every time we see him because we want to play with the multiverse. That's not how it works. You can't just rewrite your character, then use an excuse that he is mentally insane. Like, his whole point is that he has 1,000 versions of himself that all hate Invincible inside of his brain. But now he's working with Invincibles who killed his family? It just completely breaks what was set up in season 2 about his character, and it's so stupid. I like season 3, by the way. I haven't brought up a single positive thing about season 3. I like season 3. I just want to establish that. Do I look like really? Anyways, um, next is Conquest. Conquest is a really great villain for how he shows up. Of course, the depth add to him with his "I'm so lonely" monologue. I mean, as much as it got memed, it's an amazing scene, and he's just really great. And the cause of like 2 of the best episodes in the show. So of course, he's a great villain. Thrag. Thrag is a good villain. Nothing more, nothing less. He's not an amazing villain. He's not a superb villain. He's not even a great villain. He's a good villain, and that's all he will ever be. Um, I mean, yes, he was good in episode 7. He was in episode 6. I hear people trying to do a bit of I don't want to say revisionist history, but revisionist history of how people are like, he's actually great in episode 6 because it builds up to episode 7. No, he's just not that good in episode 6. Actually, he's fine in episode 6. The reason why people hate him at episode 6 is that everyone who read the comics, I haven't, yeah, anyone who did that just overhyped Thrag beyond their limits. Thrag is nowhere near a top 20, nowhere near top 10, top 20. Honestly, not even close to top 30 best comic book villains of all time in the comics. He's a good villain. That's all he is, and that's all he will ever be, okay? I just want to establish that. So, if you couldn't tell, it's an easy win for Daredevil again, because they're just too good, and Omni-Man, the best villain, can't even compare, in my opinion. So that's where that yeah. Sorry. Yeah. This video is gonna make me seem like I hate Invincible if you can't tell, but I really do love it. Anyways, oh, Karen Page will show up in a second, so I'll talk about Omni Man. Okay, Omni Man. What's happening here? What is this? It just clips out of existence. Anyways, Omni Man is a superb deuterogonist. Also, if you've never heard the term deuterogonist, it means the second most important character in a story. Also, if you want to argue that Daredevil's deuterogonist is Foggy, A, you are wrong. He's the tritogonist, which is the third most important character in the story. I know this is all a bunch of stupid English dictionary words and some random idiot came up with, but still. Also, if you want to argue Eve is the deuterogonist of Invincible, let me tell you, she does nothing of importance beyond like season 3. Okay, so that's one thing. Anyways, I'll go back to talking about Omni-Man. Omni-Man is an incredible deuterogonist with his character development and his arc. It's so amazing. Him as a villain was, of course, amazing, but honestly, I just loved him growing into a better person and developing all this Viltrumite stuff and his kids and how he will grow. It's all amazing, honestly. Nolan is an incredible character, but honestly, let's not sleep on Karen Page. Like, she's a great character. She's an amazing character. I love her development throughout every season of the show, especially her in Daredevil Born in Season 2. Not only is Deborah Ann Woll giving a fantastic performance wherever and whatever she does, but especially in Daredevil Born in Season 2, she gave a heavenly performance. It was so good. Or devilly. But anyways, also, if you want to argue about also okay, wait. Here's the thing. Daredevil Deuterogonist, whoever it is now, is very confusing. So in the original series, it was not Foggy, it was Karen. There's a reason why Karen had an episode to herself and Foggy did not. Also, there's a reason why Karen appeared in every episode and Foggy did not. There's a reason why Karen often had a full on arc. Like Karen had a full arc in season 2. You know who didn't? Foggy. Of course, Foggy did have an arc in season 1 and 3, but like there's things like that where Karen just has more to do than Foggy. So that's why I think she's the deuterogonist over Foggy. Also, here's where it starts getting confusing. Is the deuterogonist, especially by Born Again, Daredevil Born Again season 2 Daredevil Born Again has just confused things. Is the deuterogonist Karen Page or or the Kingpin? That's the question, because Karen would be the deuterogonist if she appeared in Daredevil Born Again season 1. She appeared in 1 episode substantial. 2 episodes. I'll give her 2 episodes. And for one of them, she only appeared for like 5 minutes. So, like, Karen, I can't call her the deuterogonist of that season. Now, for that individual season, it's absolutely Fisk. Fisk is the parallel to Matt in every single way. You could argue Heather, but I would not argue Heather. She has, other than being Matt's girlfriend, has nothing to do with him other than, I guess, being Matt's girlfriend and, going against vigilantes, and Matt is a vigilante. But yeah, whatever. I would argue it's Fisk. Not only is all of Daredevil Born Again basically trying to paint Matt and Fisk as two sides of the same coin, the good and evil, you know, or the devil who's the good guy and the mayor who's the bad guy, stuff like that. That's basically what they try and do for all of Daredevil Born Again. So you can definitely argue that for Daredevil Born Again, the deuteragonist is Wilson Fisk, which confuses what's a deuteragonist. Because if it would be Wilson Fisk, it'd be this. But because I would say it's Karen Page, especially since she does show up and have an impact in season 2. Also, that's another thing. She doesn't do as much in season 2 as she would have done in the original series. Like, of course, she does have a small arc and have changes to her characters, like being more like Frank Castle and being like, "Hey, we should kill off Wilson Fisk," being different and sort of in opposition and to Matt. But honestly, you could argue that to Matt, his foil character that season was Bullseye. But generally, because of Born Again, it's really hard to determine who the hell the deuteragonist for Daredevil is. But if it is Wilson Fisk, sure. If you think it's Wilson Fisk, sure, give this one to Daredevil. But because I think it's Karen, I gave it to Invincible. But honestly, not by much. Karen is a stellar character in her own right. She's amazing. Oh my god, it's been so long. Anyways, season 1. So I'm just gonna go over each season. Season 1 of Daredevil is an incredible season, going over Matt's lawyer side. This does a great job showing Matt's work side and all that and their work business, especially since the other seasons it crumbles apart. Nelson and Murdoch crumbles apart in season 2, is not rebuilt till the end of season 3, and they add a page. Nelson Murdoch and Page dies in Daredevil Born Again, and we see a little bit of Murdoch and McDuffie, but whatever. Anyways, it does an incredible job showing the lawyer stuff, and Foggy, Karen, and Matt's dynamic is just impeccable. Wilson Fisk, while not as good in season 3, is still an amazing comic book villain above all others, and the action is that hallway fight scene. Peak. Also, Matt becoming Daredevil this season is also incredible. So, overall, it is a stellar season. And this is also a stellar season. Invincible Season 1 is definitely the season, not my favorite season of Invincible, but it is the season of Invincible that is, no matter what, there's no episode that I can say detracts from story or is bad, you know? I think every other season has an episode that's below a 7. This is the only one where every episode's above a 7. I mean, it's good in my eyes. Because even if you have a really weird episode that I don't like the plot to, like the one with Sinclair and the Reaniman, I didn't like that one that much. It's still boosted up because of the Omni-Man mystery. I think it's stressed enough. I really love Omni-Man as a villain. He's so great. The mysteries of the season, how it pushes our characters, especially with Cecil and Darkblood and Debbie, it's all amazing. And Mark is really good this season. The main detraction is Amber. Amber sucks, and we get so much attention on Amber that it just sucks. Also, I hate Amber so much. She's such a terrible, terrible, terrible character. I don't know what they did wrong with her. Honestly, she's she's so bad. Although if you want to know the answer, it actually showed up. My answer for this would be Daredevil. Also, a huge part of this is Daredevil for me has a lot better of episodes and a higher episode average. So there you go. Anyways, season 2, this is considered the weak season for both of them. And yeah. Angstrom Levy, I really like him at the start. I really like him in the end. I hate how season 3 character assassinates him, but that's cool. This episode with Omni-Man is fantastic. I love it. It's so good. But this season of Invincible just feels, I would say, fillery. Of course there is no filler exactly, but it does have the worst episode of the show, season 2, episode 2. And then there's a bunch of stuff I guess the start of Rex's character arc is neat, but I don't know. It has a bunch of greatness in it, some great episodes, some great plot lines. It's still an 8 out of 10 season of television. Also, if you want to hear my ratings for both these, this Daredevil season 1's a 10 out of 10. Invincible season 1 is a 9.4. Anyways, Anyway, season 2, yeah, it's like an 8 out of 10 season of television but there is some fantastic stuff in it. It's just lesser than the sum of its parts because it just feels so disconnected. It is the worst season of Invincible, and it will be the worst season of Invincible unless if they just screw up the later comics. But yeah. Anyways, season 2 Daredevil is solely dragged down by Elektra in the Hand. The Elektra in the Hand is not good until the very end of the season. Like those last 3 episodes with the hand stuff, that was really interesting and really good. But it takes you like 10 episodes, not 10, it takes you like 7 episodes for it to actually start getting great. And in the meanwhile, I'm gonna give me my Frank Castle stuff because those first 4 episodes of the season were perfection. The first one, I mean, they're not all 10 out of 10s, but 2 of them are. Like, they're generally spectacular. It's a spectacular start to the season, and I'm saying this in my Daredevil video that it could have genuinely been an entire season, just a small mini season of those 4 episodes, and that's it. Also, they just should have done the Frank Castle arc. Do one or the other, because Frank Castle stuff was genuinely brilliant. It was incredible, but just kept on getting dragged down by the hand. Which I will say, the hand stuff not quite as bad as like the fish episode, but like overall is worse than Daredevil Invincible Season 2. But the reason why I'm still giving the crown to Daredevil is that the Punisher stuff was miles better than anything in Daredevil than Invincible Season 2, even comparative to the Angstrom Levy and Omni Man stuff. Season 3, okay, if you've seen both these shows, it's obvious. Like, I'm not even gonna try and act like it. It's Daredevil. I know that. I know. I keep on doing Daredevil, but it's my bad. My bad, gang. Okay, I'm just not gonna lie. It's not even a competition. Daredevil is by far the greatest season of any comic book show ever. Um, like it is a masterpiece. It may be the only comic book show that I can for sure say it's a masterpiece because it is. Everything in this season perfect. Mac's character arc of becoming the devil of Hell's Kitchen once again to bring down the Kingpin, who is now higher than ever in control of the FBI, which is shown by Ray Nadeem. I love Ray Nadeem. He is, oh my god, Ray Nadeem, my goat, Ray Nadeem. It was so sad when he died. Dex, like for Dex just now getting his credit is insane. I'm glad he's getting his flowers for being one of the great comic villains of all time now, but he should have been getting his flowers. He has been one of the greatest comic book villains of all time since season 3. He was impeccable in this season. He was so good. And it sucks that people didn't credit him till now. Now he's getting credit, and now people are like, hey, he's actually still fantastic in season 3. Also, this is just to show the finale. The finale is a masterpiece. When your season has 3 masterpieces of an episode, which I don't like throwing around that often, I will say 10 out of 10. Sure, masterpiece, almost never. I don't like saying the word masterpiece because it makes you sound very dramatic. I find a masterpiece to be better than a 10 out of 10. I know a 10 out of 10 is not a masterpiece, but a masterpiece is 10 out of 10. It's like how a square is a rectangle, while rectangle is not square. Sorry, that logic. But, there's just so many good things going on in this season. Everything is perfect. It feels like, while not true in my eyes, every episode gets better and better and better and better and builds on the story more and more and more. And even though I disagree with that statement, like I think episode 4 is better than almost the entire season, other than the finale. So, that's what I'm saying. It is truly a masterpiece of a season I have zero flaws with. I'm about to actually start rewatching this today, and I'm very excited. Next thing is this. Okay, while there's so much incredibleness in Invincible Season 3, it's actually only my 3rd favorite season of Invincible. I think Season 4 and 1 are better. It's really good. I mean, Conquest. This is my 2nd favorite episode in the entire show. Not better than the one from Season 4, Episode 7 from Season 4. And it is better than the Season 1 finale, because Season 1 finale just drags on and on and on to bring a 10 out of 10 episode to like a 9.7. But honestly, this does not have those flaws. It is so perfect. We'll skip over that for a second. I'm going to rage at this in a second. Not that it's bad. It's so overrated. The Sea Silver Mark conflict. I already said how it's stupid, but the episode about it, fantastic. The Alan and Omni-Man invention, amazing. Adventure. I meant to say adventure, not advention or whatever I said. Amazing. And there's just so much good in the season. Like, there's only one miss, and it's the Dragon episode. The Dragon episode's not that good, and the premiere has plenty of flaws, especially when it comes to power scaling. And the Powerplex episode, that's fantastic, but actually not fantastic. It's really, really great. Now, my problem, this episode. This episode solely is my problem. It's really overrated this season. Honestly, this one's also really overrated because it has a 9.9 on IMDb, which is insane and so undeserved for IMDb standards. But yeah, this is 9.7 and it's not getting my forgiveness either. I kid you not. I mean this sincerely with my full heart. Every episode from Daredevil season 3 is better than the Invincible War. Invincible War is like an 8.8. My lowest rated episode for Daredevil season 3 is an 8.8. The Invincible War is just so overrated. Like, off the top of my head. And now I know I'm really good at memorizing episode names and their qualities because I just have a knack for that thing, I guess. I can off like the dome name like at least 75 episodes of comic book television alone better than better than the Invincible War. Except it is somehow like the highest rated comic book television episode outside of Invincible. Put it towards any other episode of comic book television, the only one that is equal to it is Remember It from Invincible. From X-Men 97. And even that is extremely overrated. That should not be your runner-up. Ugh. Sorry. I just have a burning passion for how overrated the Invincible War is. It's not that good. It's not a masterpiece. It's not 10 out of 10. It's not even a 9 out of 10. It is an 8.8 at best. Ugh. Anyways, if you're going to, oh yeah, it's Daredevil. What a shocker. Okay, season 4. I really love what's going on with Fisk. I think, out of all the things he needed fixing in Daredevil Born in season 1, Fisk was not one of them. I thought his arc was all really well done. And to be fair, I think it is most likely because this was probably all post overhaul. Maybe I could be wrong. Again, I don't know. This is kind of me like speculating a bit. But because the actress who played Vanessa was recast for the pre-overhaul, then the overhaul happened, and Azula, I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry, I kind of forgot it. She came back, so that's probably why this is probably all post overhaul stuff, So, but still, I think the fifth stuff and the cast is all just so good, so good. I really like the BB report too. Matt, I really like his story. I think he's doing well. I think he's good this season. Oh my god, Muse. Yeah, quick thing about Muse. Same thing. Muse was fantastic for our first 6 episodes where he's lightly appeared. Episode 6 was fantastic with him. It was great. But then he just fell off a cliff in episode 7 when he died. Yeah. But Matt, the problem with Matt is how he does not have a good supporting cast. Cherry's not a good character. Heather was not good until season 2. And Kirsten, while not being bad, I wanted a lot more from her. And luckily, we got in season 2. So, yeah. He's getting carried. I mean, he has that one fantastic scene with the Punisher, but yeah. Also, one thing that may save this season, that saves this Frankenstein mess of a season, is Isle of Joy and Straight to Hell. The 2 last episodes of the season are both incredible. Honestly, like, they're both chef's kiss. Isle of Joy is a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. It's so perfect. And Straight to Hell is a solid 9.7. It's incredible. So yeah. But, you'd be shocked. Invincible's winning. I know. I gave Invincible a win. This is the best season of Invincible in my opinion. Yes, Herm is not a good episode, but it's not even the worst. Invincible season 3 and 2 have a worse episode, so I don't get the buzz. Yeah, the storyline sucks. Yeah, the animation's terrible. What you want? Oh my god, I love Alan and Omni-Man. Their episode was fantastic. And their dynamic. And Omni-Man throughout this whole season was fantastic. And while I did think Thrag is just a good villain, the villain for myself this season is fantastic. While I do have a lot of problems with episode 6, such as that terrible mole reveal, It's still a fantastic episode, but moreover because of Omni-Man stuff. Episode 5 is incredible, and episode 7 is the best episode of the show. Perfect 10 out of 10. Sure, the finale had some disappointments out of me, like I know people are saying the post-traumatic distress or disorder. I forgot the name now. Okay, PTSD, stress disorder. My bad, guys. Ugh, but I do have problems with how after the first one it is very redundant and pretty useless, and it often just cuts off really good scenes and makes them a lot worse. And I didn't like how Debbie and Paul broke up over just because. But overall, I think everything good about this season brings it up to a 9.5 when that's like a 8.9 or a 9. Also, wait, quick rating. I forgot to give this. This is like an 8. This is like a 9.3 or 4. This is like this is an 11, and this is like a 9.2 or 3. And then, yeah, I already gave them. Okay, best season, Daredevil season 3 versus Invincible season 4. Well, I kind of just spoiled it because I gave away my ratings, but yeah. Also, I didn't ever find a chance to talk about Daredevil Born in season 2. Daredevil Born in season 2 is better than anything Invincible has ever done. It is immaculate, it is perfect, and I love it so much. Not as good as season 3, but it's really, really good. And I've changed my opinion. Season 1 is slightly better, but season 2 of Daredevil Born Again has a better average. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really want to go over it. You've probably seen it online like 100 times. Anyways, yeah, this I kind of gave away the answer, but I mean that's a masterpiece, and this is just an amazing season of television. Okay, next up, best episode of season 3, episode 13, the finale, A New Napkin, versus season 4, episode 7, Don't Do Anything Rash. I'll talk about Don't Do Anything Rash. Don't Do Anything Rash is a perfect episode of television. I love it. Love it to bits. Love it to pieces, and I think it's so good. Of course, the action is on the best in the entire show. Thrag is awesome in this episode, I'll admit. He's pretty awesome. As much as I will rag on him whenever season 5 comes out, he's awesome. But yeah, honestly, there's also some good weight to this episode. There's that one great scene of Nolan and Thrag talking, Viltrumite being destroyed, one of the best scenes of the show, and the aftermath of Thrag just crashing out and killing everyone. Impeccable. Perfect 10 out of 10 episode, but it does not compare to a New Napkin. The I Beat You scene is truly something else. I mean, it's so good. Yeah, I think is not only I'll get to the I Beat You scene later. Um This whole finale was just so perfect. It is the perfect climax to a perfect season of television. Um, like I've said this before a couple times now. Daredevil season 3 is so good. I cannot describe you how good Daredevil season 3 is unless if you watch Daredevil season 3. It is that good that I just can't put into words how good it is. And the only way you're gonna understand is if you watch the season. So that just shows the show. Anyways, Daredevil 1 finale. Okay, well, you can tell the results. So, also this one went down on a rewatch like literally yesterday. I've gone from like a 9.9 to a 9.7, but it does not affect the score. Um, yeah, Daredevil season 1, perfect 10 out of 10 finale. First 10 out of 10 of the entire show. It was amazing. Incredible finale, just dragged down by some hand stuff. It's a masterpiece. It's a pure masterpiece. Daredevil Born season 1 also gave an incredible finale. It was so good. Then Daredevil Born season 2 also gave a near masterpiece of finale. It was so perfect, one of the best episodes of Daredevil. Period. I mean, it's like top 5 in my opinion. It's so good. Um, Invincible has some incredible finales too. Incredible, amazing, perfect, really great, but has some downsides, like I said. So, I didn't really need to make another slide for this, but yeah, Daredevil won. Honestly, like this makes me seem like I hate Invincible. Daredevil's winning everything. Anyways, next is plot and story. Um, yeah, I just took the YouTube thumbnail. Generally, like Yeah, I don't really know how to describe it. It's Invincible. I'll just give you that. I guess the plot of a blind lawyer, but that's more concept. The plot of him trying to take down like the kingpin and people who rot his city is very good and very well used. Is less interesting than the Viltrumite War and stuff like that. Um, Writing. I just picked two scenes that people often signify for good writing, like when those shorts that talk about Daredevil quality, like those Daredevil versus Invincible shorts. If you've ever seen them, when they go into like the writing section, they always show the scene of Karen mourning Matt when she thinks he died. Oh my god, that Karen is such a good episode. Karen is an episode in the show. If you have not seen Daredevil, which if you have not seen Daredevil and you're still here, you know what? I do that sometimes, but not with people who don't have any editing. Anyways, um, this is also the best scene in the show. I'll just say it. I'd still have you as incredible writing, impeccable writing, and probably better than that scene. That's just the scene that everyone chose. But it goes to Daredevil. Daredevil has some insanely well written monologues. I mean, just listen to the "Do you believe in the devil" monologue from Daredevil. Just listen to it. It's or the Good Samaritan speech, or Karen's speech at the end of Cold Day in Hell's Kitchen, or Matt's speech at the end of Straight to Hell, where he gives the line what is the line? He's like, resist, rebel, rebuild, because we're the city that has no fear. Peak. It's peak. Um, I was gonna do the like absolute cinema thing. Then I realized I couldn't talk. Like I just had to be silent like that, you know. Anyways, okay, yeah, Daredevil one. Side characters. Okay, so here's my thing. Invincible. We have some beef. Okay, you have some incredible side characters. I love Cecil. Cecil's an amazing character. These guys are so good. While I am doubting Seth Rogen's ability to do the later Alan stuff with how messed up Alan gets, we'll see. He's incredible for now, and Nolan is the best character in the show. He's amazing. Rex, well, I did not like him in season one. Like, I don't care if that's part of his development. I don't like Zuko in season one of Avatar 2. Yes, it's part of a development, but you being a bad character. Actually, I do like Zuko. He's just not amazing. Like you can be like I don't like Rex. I think he's a mediocre and not that funny character in season one. Then halfway through season two, he gets a lot better. But still, Rex, amazing character by the end. And then here's where we get problems. Shrinking Ray, I like her. She's good. Robot, I like him. He's neat. Monster Girl, I like her powers and concept. I know Robot and Monster Girl specifically are gonna grow. Duplicate. Let's skip her. Bulletproof, we know nothing about. Black Samson is really lame. He does nothing other than be like the pep talk guy, except he sucks at those two. Shapesmith, he can be funny sometimes. Immortal, you suck. You really suck. I don't care if you're a better hero than Mark. You still suck. Duplicate, you suck too. That's the problem. It's either you are fantastic or you are okay. It's either you're fantastic, which is the very small amount, or you're underdeveloped and just not that useful. Don't do anything. Which is, I'll say, what Eve becomes. Yes, I have a huge honestly, I should have made a relationship slide. But I have a huge problem with Eve because after she becomes Mark's girlfriend, wait, yeah, after she becomes Mark's girlfriend, that's all she is. She is Mark's girlfriend. She does nothing, literally nothing, and it just sucks. Like from the comics, all I can think of is one singular moment. Which spoilers for the comics. There was one moment. It would like skip 30 seconds. There's like one moment in the comics that makes me like think that Eve did something important. She actually, sure, two. When Thrag kills Oliver and Mark, and she brings him back to life, and when she tells off Ancient Levy. The Thrag one is literally a plot device and plot convenience. They just wanted to kill off Oliver. And the Angstrom Levy thing, I'll admit, is a good scene. And it worked well. But that is basically everything she does. Even, we see it in this season, other than that one scene where she tells Mark that she got an abortion, She's a brick wall. I mean, like, yeah. But here's the difference. Daredevil just has a really good cast. One thing about Daredevil is how good they are at developing their characters and their world. I got. Oh my god, my TV. Okay, some of these aren't side. That's Matt. Okay, some of these aren't side characters. I just got every character for Daredevil, I guess. Let's go through all these characters and see which ones I like and don't like. Vanessa. I love Vanessa. She's such a great character and foil to Fisk. Not foil. Good partner to Fisk. Brett Mahoney, my goat, Brett Mahoney. He's such a nice presence. Madame Gao, I always thought she was neat. Maybe I haven't seen Iron Fist season 1. Wesley, he's so chill. Wesley is so chill. Stick, I never liked Stick. I don't like Stick. Ray Nadeem, I already said he's an amazing character. Father Lantom dropped bars every time he shows up. I don't know what's up with this. I mean, he is a priest. He's a father. So maybe that's why he dropped bars. But hey, see, I think that's Blake Tower. Actually, it may not be. I don't think that's what Blake Tower looks like. I just don't know who that is, and he's wearing a suit. And he has the same haircut. So I think, but doesn't Blake Tower wear glasses? I don't know who that is. So that's a problem. Karen Page, she's not a side character. She's not a side character. Elektra, I don't like her either. Leland, I thought he was neat for what he showed up. Maggie, good as Matt's mom. Dex already said how amazing he is. Ben Urich is a great character. Foggy's a great character. I don't like Nobu that much. Claire's great whenever she shows up. And Punisher is amazing. Like, other than a few of them, like, I would say, what did I count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them I didn't like. Out of the 25 there. That's more than this. Okay? Or that's less. That's a better ratio than this. So props to Daredevil. Also Daredevil Born Again has a great cast by the second season. Fisk's cast was always good. Matt's cast was lacking until the second season. I'll just say that. Anyways, yeah, Daredevil. Okay, best scene. I Beat You versus What We Have in 500 Years. Or the rooftop scene versus Debbie and Nolan. Also, you could probably put the Mark's scene where he's like, I don't care how fast you are. I don't care how strong you are. I can see the future. You don't live to see tomorrow. Sorry, I'm trying to do the absolute cinema thing. It works. It works, guys. Anyways, amazing. The I Beat You scene, I already said how masterpiece. It's such a I mean, I have a short about it. Go watch it real quick. You don't even need to click off the video. You just need to go watch it because get that short some views, right? Right, guys? Help, please. Anyways, masterpiece of scene to a masterpiece of season, and this is a brilliant dialogue between characters. This is so sad, so amazing, so good, and so is this scene. Honestly, all of them are amazing. But sorry, guys, it's Daredevil again. I kid you not. The IBU scene is not only the best scene in Daredevil, it's the best scene in the Netflix Marvel series. It's the best scene in any Marvel series. It's the best scene in any Marvel project. And I honestly think it's better than any comic book project. It's the best scene in any comic book project I have ever seen. It's that good. Trust me. If you think I'm overglazing Daredevil, watch Daredevil for yourself. You will not regret it. It is a perfect 10 out of 10 TV show. Anyways. Action. Okay. So, how do I say that this is a slam dunk for Daredevil? I'm also going to continue Gore. Gore, you could argue for Invincible because it's more intense. But honestly, I never think anime Gore compares to live action Gore. Like, Fisk crushing a guy's head got more reaction out of me than Mark having his guts pulled like spaghetti. So, I'm just going to say that. But the action is what I'm mainly going to talk about. I put all these here because these are the iconic hallway fight scenes. I mean, you know you're good when your fight scene that's not even your best, not even your second best, not even your third best, has like 65 million views. Go look it up. The Punisher hallway fight scene where he goes through the criminals in the prison, which is nowhere near the best fight scene in the show. It's easily Blindsided's fight scene. Which I'll talk about why. But it has like 60 million views. Like that's your like not even your best fight scene. It has 60 million views on YouTube. Like that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Anyways, the best fight scene is the blindside fight scene. No, it's not the first hallway fight scene. No, it's not the Punisher one. It's blindsided. I'm sorry. Like, I normally think it's a bit ridiculous when people say a fight scene is the best scene in a show or movie. Um, of course, if that characters are just when it's a good show. A good show should not have your best scene be a fight scene, even if it's an action show, unless if the scene has developed something about the story or the characters, or is just important and has substance to it, or if it's just really good. I'm sorry, not only just have a bit of substance to it and progresses the story, but I'm sorry. If you don't know, Blindsided is an 11 minute one take. There was 55 minutes. That's a fifth of the episode's one fight scene. That's a one take. Do you understand how hard a 2 minute one take is? I don't think you do. Especially a 2 minute fight scene one take. Like, there's a reason why 1917 is so impressive, because it is basically entirely a one take. I know they have takes between that they have really seamless cuts with, but seriously, they are very, like, it's such a good, that's why it's so impressive. An 11 minute one take where Charlie Cox himself is doing most of the action. Of course, when they ram him up to a wall, no, that's a stunt double. But all practical, all mostly Charlie Cox, an 11 minute one take, and still manages to have amazing cinematography. How are we doing this? Is my hair in my eye? Anyways, this scene is very good. I think it's like a 5 or 6 minute one take. It's immensely good. This is another one take that's insanely good. I'm sorry. When you have an 11 minute one take, I don't care how good the conquest fight is. I don't care how good the gore is. You're not beating Daredevil. I mean, there's a reason why Daredevil is legitimately, like, this isn't me overglazing. Daredevil is legitimately revolutionary for its action. People admit that's revolutionary for its one take action, and it's amazing choreography. Like, I'm not even like overstretching it because of my love or an overglazing it. It is known to be revolutionary within action shows. So, just want to say that. Concept. Okay, concept is blind lawyer who fights crime and it ruins his life. Versus also Invincible. It's really hard to pin down a concept because they do a lot of stuff that are very important. I did fully fleshed out superhero universe has evil Superman dictators, and the son of one of them is the key to saving everyone. Um, I guess I'm in one of those videos of describing movie plots badly or TV show plots badly, but see, these are pretty bad. Actually, this is a good one. This is a terrible one, but I can't really. It's really hard to describe the Invincible concept in one sentence, so I think I did a good job. Um, but it is Invincible. Invincible is a much more interesting concept. Now, isn't Daredevil better written and as everything before? Yeah, but this has a better concept. Okay, world building. Um, world building for Daredevil is really just building up New York and its people. Like, Miss Cardenas is a perfect way of how you have this world with actual people. She feels like an actual person, and her death hits you really hard. Hard. The BB report in Daredevil Born Again really helps influence this, as we see actual people's opinion. Especially since I'm pretty sure in season 1, I don't know about season 2, but in season 1, I'm pretty sure what they did was they just got actual New Yorkers and filmed in New York. They just pulled out New Yorkers and was like, hey, you want to do this? And they're like, I guess sure. I don't really know what happened, but they got actual people to do it, which made it all the better. And then Invincible just has some really cool space world building, and honestly, both are equal. Like, both are equally as good in certain ways. Anyways, cast and actors. I'm gonna express both are equal, and I'm going to say why. If I had to say, I would lean slightly towards Daredevil, mainly because of these four, and Eldon Henson and Deborah Ann Woll are also incredible. These were just the four standout ones. Um. Also, what's her name? Shoot, I'm trying to think of who plays Claire Temple. Rosario Dawson. She's great as well. Um. But why? Why these four? Well, they are all top 20, maybe even top 15 greatest comic book casting of all time. Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox are probably top 10. I mean, Charlie Cox, especially after that recent season, he's signified himself as one of the greatest comic book castings of all time. He's immaculate as his character. He is Matt Murdock, just as Vincent D'Onofrio and John Bernthal are their. All of these, how I define them is I could not see another person playing them. Sure, you have that for J.K. Simmons, but they give a astounding performance. John Bernthal never misses. He loves this character, and you can feel it in every performance. I mean, there's the reason why the no, 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 no scene got memed so hard because of how incredible his acting was. Because he's an incredible actor. Like, yeah, if you want to know, that's where the no, 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 no scene comes from. It comes from Punisher season 1, episode 6. Wilson Bethel, I'm so glad he's getting his appreciation. He is incredible. Vincent D'Onofrio, one of the best comic book castings of all time. Like I said, like that's why I'm saying they're both equal. Is sure, Invincible is much more consistent with people like J.K. Simmons, Stephen Yeun, Sandra Oh. I'm forgetting now, but all those people because they hire a celebrity actor for every single character, and they all knock it out of the park. But the highs of Daredevil, I cannot ignore. These are all top 15 best comic book castings of all time. Well, you could maybe argue J.K. Simmons is in the top 25 and Stephen Yeun is in the top 30. They don't touch any of them, which is why I think they're both equal. Because while Invincible is more consistent, Daredevil has higher highs. Also, Deborah Ann Woll and Eldon Henson are impeccable as fucking Karen. We're almost done, guys. Okay, number 40 is character development. Um, yeah, I picked the two ones that I thought had the most development. Matt, I already explained how he developed throughout the seasons. In the protagonist section, and Karen she just really changes. I mean, I could describe it for her going from secretary to reporter to back to lawyer essentially, and then coming all the way around to basically being head of resistance and kind of murderous. Oh my god, that scene where she's about to murder Bullseye was incredible. Anyways, and Matt, yeah, they're incredible with their development, but I'll give the win to Invincible for this one. You could argue tie again, but honestly, he just develops into such an incredible character. Rex goes from a character I did not like to a character who I love, and that's just very, very impressive. And it's really good. Okay, next up is visuals. I kind of gave it away here, didn't I? Okay, I've said this. I don't think there's been a single time where I've referenced Invincible without saying that the animation is god awful. Okay, it's not god awful, but it's really bad. And what makes me so mad is how much people love to either glaze it or defend it or both. I mean, some people are like, the animation's just fine. I don't care if it's not stick figures. Okay, sure, that's a fine approach. But the animation's not fine. It's generally bad. Like the server, like episode 4 especially, that animation is just terrible. It is just so bad. And whenever people bring it up, they're always like, don't you know how hard the animators worked? And that's true. But like, don't you know how hard the CGI visual effects artists in Quantumania worked? But you still call that terrible, even though they probably spent just as much time working on that, since that movie's basically all CGI. Anyways, like I think it's just because it took a lot of work doesn't mean you can't critique it. It still sucks. And honestly, yeah, they just move the PNG, bro, is definitely a thing. They just, I swear to God, there's so many scenes where it's just they're moving PNGs. And people always are like, but it becomes so good. It becomes peak when Conquest shows up. No, it goes from terrible to solid and sometimes, maybe sometimes, good. There were very few scenes in season 1. People are like, oh my god, the animation is always amazing. It's so good. It's fantastic. It's great. No, it's not. It is on average good and sometimes solid. And then sometimes at their highs, it's actually great. And that's the only time where I can say that. Yeah, Me Special was good. The Conquest fight, the first one was good. The second one was solid in its animation. It's just not good animation. Just has really bad animation. And I'm looking at all these shots from Daredevil. Daredevil is renowned for its cinematography. Like, it is known as one of the best visually looking superhero projects ever because of its amazing cinematography. Because look at how gorgeous this lighting is and how it's shot. I know you probably can't see it that well because I can't see it that well, but like, oh, it falls everywhere with the camera, and it's so perfect with the lighting and the color grade and how dark it is and how Daredevil is well renowned for some amazing cinematography and well deserved at that. The only comic book show I can think of that beats it out would be Legion. But Legion's a whole nother ballpark and visual masterpiece. I will say Legion is a visual masterpiece. Honestly, I'm just gonna rant. Watch Legion. Legion's better than Invincible. Not quite better than Daredevil, but it is definitely better than Invincible. And again, no slight to Invincible. I'm just saying Legion's also incredible. Watch Legion. Um. Anyways, next up, and this is the last one. Pacing. Okay, pacing. So basically, Daredevil's pacing is that it's slower paced to make it so that these bigger moments can stay there and stick out longer. Like for example, I don't. I'm trying to make a comparison, like a fair one. Like Amber finding out Mark's identity was one scene. Foggy finding out Matt's identity lasted for an entire episode, and then that episode rippled out into the next one, and the next one, and finally resolved at the finale. That's what I'm trying to say, is that those grand moments, those moments that matter, stick around longer. Now, Born Again does mess this up a little bit with its shorter episode length, where, like, when Matt reveals himself as Daredevil, we don't even see a reaction from Kirsten McDuffie other than her being like, and it kind of sucks. But hey, I love Born Again too. um, but Invincible is definitely faster paced. Like Daredevil, especially in the hand plot, there are some times where you're like, can we skip past this scene? It's not good. It's going too long. Just move on already. There are some scenes like that in Daredevil, I will admit, which Invincible's pacing definitely solves. Invincible being much more fast pacing, where it feels like you can go from moment to moment and not have the show feel slow, not have the show feel off, keep your attention and be good. While it's more of a brain rot style, it's so great on its own merit. And sure, those grander moments don't get to simmer as much, except for sometimes, like how Mark really only reacted to his father in season 2, episode 4 for like half the episode instead of the entire episode. But like things like that, it still is amazing. And yeah, the winner is Daredevil. Wow, who could have seen this coming? I totally haven't been like praising Daredevil for literally everything ever. But yeah, Daredevil is just a much better show. I genuinely think people who say Invincible is better than Daredevil haven't seen Daredevil. Especially the people who are like, oh, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is worse than Invincible Season 4. I think you just haven't seen Daredevil. like, I feel like 90% of the problems for Daredevil Born Again Season 2 are in Invincible, except worse. Except every good thing for Invincible is most of the time 90 times, 100 times better in Daredevil. So, that's the end of this video. Um, yeah, I mean, oh, dang, an hour? I've been here yapping for an hour? What do you mean? Anyways, um, well, video's done. Bye. You can agree or disagree. If you disagree, you're wrong. But, yeah, bye.